Hey there everybody, it's been a while, but we're gonna do a unboxing and bike build. A new review bike just came in for 2021 from Marin. The weather's actually been surprisingly nice here in Missoula, so I might slip out a couple test rides with this bike before the snow and the ice comes back. Another thing I'm gonna try out on these videos are these new tools. These are tools from a brand called Runwell Japan. And I bought these recently from the Velo Orange store. They're currently sold out, but they are getting another shipment in December. So I'm gonna use this bike build to test how these tools work. So it's a pretty simple tool. All it has is a 4 and a 5, and this version has a Pelican clip, so you can put this on your belt or your bag. And then there is this other one, which is again, a 4 and a 5, but it's a little bit more military EDC style with some cordage. We'll see how these guys do. There is one more thing I want to share with you guys, and it is this. It is the wheel of comments. I think I'm going to start sprinkling this into bike reviews just because, you know, comments are kind of my bane, and they're always the same comments that keep coming up. And I'm going to try to anticipate some of them with this guy. So this one may come out for this unboxing, or it may not. We'll just see how the mood strikes me. But we've got some popular comments like, "So hipster. That's just marketing BS. That's just a 90s mountain bike. Of course, every bike is a gravel bike. What's the weight in kilograms for your non-US viewers?" With all that out of the way, let's unbox this mystery bike from Marin. Let's get her done. Okay, this one's really taped up well. So in talking with our contact at Marin, I'm actually pretty lucky to get a review bike for 2021. Oh no, because bike sales are just bonkers this year. I think I can tape that back up. So this bike, you're gonna be able to tell what it is really quickly once I put it out. It's probably an unexpected choice for the channel. Let's just put it this way. I had the option to review a couple bikes in their 2021 slate, and I went for the one that was the most interesting to me. So not necessarily the fastest or the lightest, but the one that piqued my interest and made me say, I really want to know how that bike rides. Ta-da! A little bit different shape than you're probably used to seeing on this channel, but let's get it up on the stand. So one thing I like to do before I fully build the bike is actually take a photograph of how it's packed. And mostly I do this because I do ship the bikes back after a review, unless I end up buying them, which I have done on occasion, been known to do. So we have our front wheel. And what's the best way to do this? Got a front fork, got a brake caliper. This bike is quick release. I can hear the comments. Oh my God, it's quick release. Let's get this guy on the stand. Got a pretty long wheelbase here. Let's pull this back a bit. You guys can see the full view. All right, here is the bike. If you're not familiar with this shape frame, it's known as a mixty, and it does have a very sloping top tube here. And wait, what's that sound? What possible encouraging, thoughtful, supportive comment could someone possibly be typing? Nice girl's bike. Okay, Grandpa, if you crawled out of some kind of time warp, it is a mixty, but it is non-gendered. Just because it has a sloping top tube doesn't mean it's a girl's or a boy's bike. If you don't believe me, you should look at mountain bikes, all of which have very extreme sloping top tubes, and I don't think people are calling them girls' or boys' bikes. Okay, so the first thing I usually do before I start assembling the bike these days is to actually write on the packaging which part of the bike it protects, so that when I repackage it to send it back, it makes it a lot quicker. So this is the left seat stay. This is the left chain stay. This one is the right fork. And as tedious as this is, you know, I do this for every single bike. It just makes the process of packing them up to send back a lot quicker. This is interesting. I will put top tube and second tube. First time I've had to write that. So while this form of the mixty, you know, used to be gendered, I think, you know, we're living in 2020. We can accept different bicycle shapes, or at least I hope viewers of this channel can accept different bicycle shapes. And if you haven't guessed already, the bike that I am reviewing is the Larkspur by Marin. I had the choice of a couple of different bikes to review, and honestly, this one seemed the most interesting. It's not the fastest, it's not the lightest, but it's definitely the one that I saw and I was like, wow, this looks super fun. So it's a great way to mix it up, I think, at least, to not just have the same typical gravel bike. It's cool because it's got that kind of city bike shape, but man, it's got a dropper post and it's got fat meats and it's rocking a microshift drivetrain, which is pretty cool. Nice big swoopy handlebars here. And I've come to like not flat handlebars so much, but handlebars that do sweep back a little bit. So I've got bars that are similar to this on my Velo Orange. You know, Laura has the Ritchie Coyote bars. I've got the Tumbleweed Prospector bars, and they all have kind of a nice sweep to them. Just can't ride flat bars because it aggravates my wrist, but if there is a nice little back sweep, then works for me. Okay, so let's try out these tools by Runwell. Again, these are made by a Japanese company, and they're being imported and sold in the US by our friends Velo Orange. I bought these two. I just wanted to see which form factor worked better in the hand. And I think the one I'm not going to keep, I'm going to do a giveaway on our Patreon. And if you want to buy these will be back in stock at the VO web store mid-December. And if you're a Patreon supporter, 20% off. So let's see how these go. I'm going to try the one with the Pelican clip first. I do love a nice, simple multi-tool. So far, so good. Has pretty good leverage. I will say that the handle actually runs into the bump of the stem face here, but not so much that you can't undo it. And I think it'll be less of a problem once you have the actual handlebar in there, because that will push the faceplate out. I'm gonna undo these two with the EDC cordage version and see if this runs into the faceplate. I think of all the tool combinations, a 4 and a 5 to have on the same tool is super useful, especially on the modern bike, because those are the sizes you need when you're working on the headset. If you're having to twist your handlebars or swap your handlebars or adjust your bar height, if you've got a threadless stem system, then the 4 and the 5 are the ticket. So in terms of the tool, good engagement with the head, doesn't feel soft, nice tolerances, is whacking the handlebar a little bit. Let's see if that happens with the other tool. I think this one is shorter than the other one, so it seems to whack things a little less. Someone that had asked on the gram if these were ratcheting. No, they are not ratcheting tools. That would be cool, but it would definitely add some bulk to the head here. So this is what I'm finding. After a certain point, you can't do a full revolution. You can, you know, undo the bolt like so. It's just such a long tool. So this is good to know. I think this only becomes an issue if you're completely removing the stem often, but if you're just trying to loosen it so you can reposition the bolt, then shouldn't be a problem. But again, this is why I test things, right? You can have expectations about a product, make a good guess about how it will perform, even something as simple as a tool, but unless you have it in your hand, hard to predict. And that's why I don't just print or reprint press releases. All right, so I'm digging the tool so far. There are some limitations because they are a little bit short and stubby, so probably wouldn't rely on this as your only tool, but a good backup tool. So check this out, guys. Hopefully this is in the camera. Oh yeah, a mixtie with a dropper post. You gotta love it. It's so good, so good. And time to attach the brake. So while we're talking components, this is the Larkspur 2 build, and it's pretty interesting. This, as you see it, costs just under $1,000, so 950-ish, I think. And for that, you get hydraulic disc brakes, you get a dropper post, you get some pretty fat meats. So fat that it's running into everything. Let me hold this wheel. So you get a 27.5 2.3-inch tire, and it's a V Tire Company. It's got a high center ridge to roll on flat, hard-packed terrain. Some fairly aggressive side knobs. Rubber feels pretty soft, So this feels like a good all-rounder tire for both the city and if you take that occasional trail or ride it on the grab. Okay, so let's finish this off. Put the brakes on. Hopefully this is a 5. So again, with the long tool, can't really spin it all the way around because of the long bottom handle. It does run into things. They do have nice bolt heads though. They feel like the tolerances are pretty tight and they engage well with the hex heads. So let's talk drivetrain a bit. You've got Shimano branded brake levers, Shimano Dior shifters here, and the crank is unbranded, although it's a direct mount to the middle. I don't know what the standard is. And on the rear, we've got a Shimano Dior rear derailleur, but a microshift 10-speed cassette. So let's see how it shifts with this mixed drivetrain. Nice, pretty well adjusted out of the box. Let me just run through it a couple more times. So it shifts pretty well. It shifts, goes into lower gears really well, and you can just lay on the trigger. Pretty precise. Nice. All right, rear brake, nice and strong. So yeah, it's almost a bike. I think the only thing left to do is to put in the front wheel and adjust the front brake. And where is, oh, there's the skewer. And I know some of you guys are gonna freak out about the quick release. I'm not too concerned. I've ridden bikes with disc brakes and quick releases and have not died yet. You know, maybe if you were doing some super rad mountain biking, but again, that isn't what this bike is for. This is kind of just how I'm interpreting it. It's a super fun city bike that you can also take on the grab, but not a dedicated MTB. Okay. Pretty good. I don't think it needs much adjustment. I think I'll tighten things down a little bit closer to final torque here. Again, this is the Marin Larkspur 2, and this thing just looks like an absolute riot. I'm digging the sweep of the handlebars. This feels really nice. This is the size medium, so hopefully it should fit me. Shimano hydraulic disc brakes, kind of a mix, Dior and microshift drivetrain, and yeah, this thing just looks like the most baller city bike ever. I think I'm gonna try to take this out on some of the local grab this weekend. We've got some sun. It's not super cold. Supposedly a lot of the ice has melted, so should be rad. And again, you gotta love that it comes with a dropper post here. So yeah, I know you guys are gonna be asking about the weight. I'm not gonna weigh it just yet. I'm just gonna ride it and have some fun on it before doing that. But what do you guys think? I mean, I think it's a pretty sweet looking bike. I love this. It's kind of like a copperish deep honey color with just a little bit of a sparkly flecks in there. It is a nice looking bike and it looks super fun. So if you're curious to see how this bike rides, be sure to subscribe. Try to get that video up this week, as well as a bunch more gear videos, lots of like mini shopping guides at different price points. Lots of cool products have been coming in, been having a chance to mess around with them, and I'll share my thoughts with you guys on potential gift ideas for the holidays. So that's it. If you dig this content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're so close to 100,000. You can help make it happen. We'll have a party or something. Keep the supple side down.